Have you ever wondered what the Bible really says about the end times? Is it a roadmap with a set date for the final judgment, or is it more like a collection of powerful symbols conveying timeless truths about God's plan for humanity? Let's dive into two different ways of looking at Revelation. One views it as a coded prophecy, filled with hidden meanings waiting to be unraveled through methods like numerology, astrology, cryptography, or historical analysis. This perspective sees Revelation as predicting the end of the world in explicit detail, from the return of Jesus to the establishment of his kingdom. On the flip side, some see Revelation as a tapestry of symbolism, offering eternal insights into God's intentions for humanity. Here, the images and symbols aren't secret codes, but rather metaphors shedding light on spiritual realities. They paint a picture of God's judgment and the consequences of unchecked power, rather than a strict prediction of future events. Both viewpoints have their strengths and weaknesses. The first approach can offer some clues about the future, but it can also lead astray if it overlooks other parts of Scripture or additional sources of wisdom. The second approach provides guidance for the present, but it can sometimes be unclear or open to interpretation. That's why it's crucial to approach Revelation with discernment. We need to consider its literal and symbolic facets, its historical and universal context, and how it applies to our personal and communal lives. What does this image really mean? What's the underlying message? How does it relate to our lives today? Within Revelation, one of the most debated symbols is fire. It appears repeatedly, representing God's judgment, purification, or transformation. Some believe it points to literal fires, while others see it as a spiritual fire meant to refine or consume those who oppose God. Another contentious symbol is the mark of the beast. Described as a requirement for buying and selling in God's new order, it's a topic of much speculation. Some think it's a physical mark imposed by a political entity, while others see it as a spiritual mark tied to an evil system or ideology. Both fire and the mark of the beast stand as symbols of allegiance to oppressive systems. They illustrate how those who follow human leaders rather than God face divine judgment, while those who resist earthly authorities for the sake of God find grace and protection. So how does this apply to us today? Should we live in fear or hope? Should we wait for signs or take action now? Should we put our trust in prophecy or symbolism? The answer hinges on how we interpret Revelation. If we see it as a prophecy with specific future events, fear may be a natural response, knowing what's on the horizon. Yet, if we view it as a book of timeless truths through symbolism, hope becomes the guiding force, knowing who Jesus is and what he calls us to do. In essence, Revelation isn't just about foreseeing the end times, it's about unveiling God's love and justice. It calls us to partner with him in the restoration and renewal of the world. It challenges us to champion what's right, even when it's tough. It urges us to trust, even when understanding eludes us. So, let's read Revelation with an open heart and a humble spirit. Let's seek its wisdom, embrace its beauty, and harness its power. Let's share its vision, hold on to its hope, and spread its love. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And don't forget to leave a comment below. God bless you.